Well, sadly, this floor here is essentially going to dictate in many ways what's in the platform. So unless it hits the floor here. Now, again, I will go back and say it, like Jugmeet, for example, clearly he's got a lot of young people on that floor that were supportive of him, right? If that begins to permeate and make its way into the policy, then there's every hope in the world that we're going to capture a lot of the votes that Trudeau captured last time around. I think that the NDP can do that. I think we can put forward a face that says we are a young, energized party. And I think that is the best possible thing that he can do, is to create that dynamic in the minds of the public, that the NDP is young and they're on the move. And I think he can do that, because I'm sensing, as I look around where I'm sitting in there, I would say I'm by far the oldest, and I'm not seeing too many old folks around me, a lot of young people. So I'm excited about it. I think there's a real opportunity here. So in terms of electoral reform, I was really pleased to read last week that Jugmeet basically has said that if he gets elected, we will have electoral reform, and in actual fact, he said, the next election will be the last first past the post. Now, we know that Trudeau made that statement, and I think what Jugmeet is basically saying, he lied, and don't believe him, because what he told you in the last election, whatever he tells you in this election, don't believe it. He's not going to implement it, and that he will. Now, if he does, there's a golden opportunity here for him to be really, really progressive in his platform and make that a centerpiece. And I think he'll be tapping into a rich vein of support if he does that, and in particular with young people, because they don't want this staid old system that's been in place for the last 100, whatever it was, 150 years. They got to get rid of it, and I think he's the person to do it. And I believe, as I say, there's a rich vein there if he can tap into it, and he builds momentum with his young workers and the young army of people around him. That's going to be dynamite out there in terms of electoral successes. Lots of areas I think we'll find young people coming. Like it'll almost go back to Trudeau mania, and I'm talking about the real Trudeau mania, like I'm talking about in the 1960s and 1970s, where Trudeau did capture the imagination of young people. There's a real opportunity, I believe, for Jugmeet to do that in a more serious way. I mean, I think the way this Justin Trudeau's done, it's smarmy. It just doesn't come across. It's cheesy the way he does it. I think if Jugmeet does it in a very serious way, and I think he can do that, and energize it with young people, I think there's a real possibility he could get that momentum going, and pull that kind of support away from Trudeau. I think he can do it. So, electoral reform, I would say, should be at the heart of the NDP's campaign.